Welcome, everybody. This is another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex.
Hey guys, I'm Jeff Doss. All right, let's get going. I'm pumped up. How you doing, Alex?
I'm doing great. This is a wonderful day. Although it's a wonderful day at a very interesting, memorable anniversary,
Right.
not just of this country, but of the world. Um, this episode will air after this memorable day, which is September 11th.
Yes.
So it's kind of and every time the day comes up, it's always a where were you type of day, a where were you moment. So
Yeah.
where were you that day, Jeff?
So September 11th is also my dad's birthday. So it was yeah, it was really weird. And so my dad growing up always traveled around. He was a crew chief on the road for putting in conveyor belt systems at box plants. So it was like probably one of the only times I really remember him being home on his birthday. Most of the time
Oh
it would
my
be
goodness.
giving him a call. So that in itself was weird, right? So and we got up and no one really mentioned his birthday until like we were about to leave and we were, oh yeah. And so he just felt like when he woke up that day, he even told us like, something's not right about this day. I don't know if something's going on. He was supposed to leave that day on a flight from Lynchburg and ended up getting canceled because of everything. And so it was just crazy. He was supposed to be on one of like, it wasn't the Pennsylvania one. It
No,
was
don't say.
like, yeah, it was right after. It was the one. It was going to that same area, but it was the flight right after that. So yeah, it's so weird. Um,
Wow.
the and then I remember third period. It was my senior year, so I was doing like in the guidance office or something like that. And I just remember hearing everything and this and that and everything else, and just you know
So
you know
you were
how
still in
when
school. So you were in high school when this
yeah,
all
I
went
was in
down.
high school when it happened. Yep, my senior
So
year.
you know,
So
like the where were you moment when everything went down. You remember
yep.
exactly.
Oh yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
remembers exactly. There's no
yeah.
way you don't.
No. How about you?
This is wow. Oh, I didn't know that story. I remember where I was. I was because if I remember correctly, was it on Monday or was it Tuesday? All right. I think it was a
Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah,
All right.
yep.
So yes, it was a Tuesday because I remember I was just I think I was 20 years old. I was just hanging out and I was literally just bumming it that morning. And a friend of mine calls me, this girl, and she says, hey, did you hear? As if obviously I knew, but I was literally just bumming around, didn't turn on anything, didn't have nothing. So I was literally, she called me, I woke up. I'm like, no, what are you talking about? She's like, no, you're messing. I was like, no, the first human I've talked to this morning. What's up?
Right.
Told me, and I said, no. And then, boom, literally that moment, just boom, everything changed. Here's the wild part, though. So that's obviously the where were you moment for me. And I just experienced it like everybody else, just like jaw dropped in front of a TV for the next month, you know?
Yeah. Right. Pretty much. Yeah.
And that's not an exaggeration.
No.
That's
No.
really what
No.
so for those who don't really remember it, like when it happened, no, that's not an exaggeration. It really was like that, like for an entire month. Like every TV channel was just nonstop of what was happening to the world
Yeah.
at that moment. So you mentioned to me about you mentioned to us about what happened to like your dad and how
Yeah.
scary that would be and how fortunate
Oh
you guys
yeah.
were that oh my goodness he wasn't traveling that day. Check this out, right? So my wife's aunt, okay, she's a flight attendant and she a flight attendant for United and she was just getting real sick and she was supposed to be on either the first or the second plane that hit the tower. All right.
Wow.
So and she was just like she asked this is a wild thing. She asked a friend of hers if she would switch with her. So she switches
Whoa.
and they stay, and I don't remember what town they were in, obviously. So and they switch and they didn't just switch like her. Apparently they switched whole crews.
Mm-hmm.
So her crew, they just stayed in whatever town they were in. and the other flight attendant crew, they're just like, okay, don't worry about it, we got it. And then now they were there.
Wow.
We're never scheduled to be there.
Yeah.
Now they went through that. So
Jeez.
yeah,
Golly.
and I
It's
believe it was flight 177. I think that
yeah.
comes to mind. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Mm.
yeah, that was the flight that she was supposed to be on the flight that hit, and she didn't. And so yeah, I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
that's,
it's
and I
it's
didn't know her my
crazy,
whole life.
man. Right. Yeah, and I was supposed to fly either the next day or the day after that. We were going as a team to Guatemala. CJB was. And I remember us trying to figure out what we were doing with that as well. And everyone's like, no, you are not leaving the country because you may not get back in for another week or 2 weeks.
Yeah,
And some people still went that year to that tournament. Like the Pinkston still went, Rudy Raynon still went. We were all supposed to go. I mean, I'm crazy. I was like, yeah, I'll still go. I want to go, get away from all the craziness. Honestly, it's the way I felt. But Spencer Arrington, who's the sponsor of CGB, told us, no, we're canceling, all of this, and we'll just stay home because it's not worth it with all of this right now. So, I mean, there are people that still went to a tournament that weekend, overseas too. So, yeah,
wow.
yeah. So again, yeah, I mean, after 9/11, I'm sure there's so many traveling stories with how things changed or even
It
before that too.
it really
I mean,
did. It changed everything. I
yeah,
remember like, but I think I remember like before that moment, you could walk up to the gate
yeah,
and say goodbye to somebody.
right.
Imagine that today. Like if you were just like, if you was a like family member yours, like your mom, you dropped her off at the airport. You could
Right.
walk her to the gate
No,
at the time. You
no,
can't do
yeah,
that. Like, you
no,
kidding me? You can't walk in the building. This actually happened to me. This is probably 10 years ago. I was waiting for a friend of mine in the airport, and this is in Minneapolis. And I got the times wrong, and I was early by hours, right? So I'm just hanging out upstairs because it was at the time there was a baggage claim downstairs from MSP airport. So I'm just hanging out upstairs. I'm literally just walking around, and I'm looking at just whatever, and these security guards just come up to me, and they immediately knew who I was. They knew who I was waiting to see. They knew everything about me,
jeez,
and it was just wild. But hey, I'm just
right,
some guy. I got no luggage. I'm walking around aimlessly around the
jeez,
airport.
yeah,
I'm the perfect guy to say, get the heck out of here. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, definitely, definitely. Everything has changed, man. I remember going to Diamonds. That was my first flight after 9/11. And so I live in Lynchburg, Virginia, which, if people don't
And
know,
this
is
is
a
early October 2001. So this is like
yes,
3 weeks
yeah,
after,
yes, correct.
3, 4 weeks
So
after.
we all decided, all right, we're all going to the tournament, doing that. They just implemented all the new different rules and everything. And I'm in a very small airport. I mean, now there's only one airline that goes out of it. So there's pretty much one or two, there's like 8 flights a day. Back then it was a little bit more. After 9/11, of course, everything changed with that.
Yep.
But I'm sitting there, and the National Guard, at that time was at all of the airports. And I'm sitting there like, and they're just, walking around every which way, have their gun right on their hip, swinging. And I'm just sitting there like, man, this is different. This is crazy. One of them walks right by me. Their gun actually hits my leg, and I'm like freaking out. Like I'll never forget that. Like, what is going on? Like, this is not how it's supposed to be. And it just, I mean, I'm glad they stepped away from that for a while. I mean, their security is just keeps getting better and better. I think in some ways, it's weird to me
Yeah,
though
but
when
it's interesting though. If you think about that though, I mean, you've flown to, I don't know, have you ever flown to Mexico before? Of course,
yes,
yeah. What am I talking about? You've
yes,
probably flown to the moon, right? So you ever see like the federales there?
yeah,
Come around,
yeah,
M16s, they'll be
right,
right there. And you
yeah,
know what that does? That
Hey,
tells you don't mess around.
that's right. Yeah, I
Don't mess
agree. I
around
mean,
when you see the
no,
federales
no,
and they
I'm
got the M16s just sitting there. And you, as soon as you see them, you're just like,
yeah,
I'll,
yeah,
I'll do
that's
right,
right.
sir. I'll do
That's
right.
right.
I'll do right.
Oh man, it's crazy, especially when you go to Mexico. I'm always trying to figure out, all right, what's my story? What's my story?
What do you mean?
Because you have to tell them where you're going, what hotel you're going to. Most of the time, I don't even know what hotel I'm going to when I'm going to Mexico. All I know is that
Why do you have to tell them all that?
because that's what they ask you at the thing when you go through and give them their
Oh
passport and
yeah, when
everything.
you go to
Like,
customs.
what
Okay, yeah,
hotel? What is this? Where are you going? Who's picking you up? And what's bad is that I go to these tournaments, and a lot of times, or like go to do a seminar. A lot of times, I don't know who's picking me up. You know, it'll be somebody, just someone that is just a student of theirs or whatever, right? But most of the time, I'll just put Ugo Mendoza always picks me up in Mexico, whatever. I don't go to a tournament in Mexico without Ugo Mendoza. And you may not know Ugo. Ugo is been big traveler in NBL for years, has a tournament for years. He's doing a lot of things down in WKC right now with them in Mexico. He's my dude down there. All right, I make sure I'm
Oh
always
yeah,
with
sounds like
him.
a good dude to have.
Yeah, him and his wife actually own John Wayne's beach house in Acapulco, which is
Shut up.
yeah,
No,
pretty
time out.
legit.
Time,
Yeah, bro.
time out. Time out.
Yeah.
You know, I know some people that hang out with some like notable celebrities and be involved with. Homeboy is in John Wayne's house.
Right. And he's not even a fan. He's just like, hey, we have a bunch of stuff. Do you want it? I'm like, do you know who you're talking to? Like, I'm a huge fan. Like, my brother's name, my dad named him after a character of John Wayne. All right, John Wayne movie.
No, get the heck out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
This is
So I'm
not
sitting
real.
there. He's telling me this on his yacht that we were hanging out with on after one of the tournaments.
Of
And he's
course he
like, "Hey,
was.
that's our beach house." That was what's the character? What's the Hollywood actor? Wayne something? John Wayne? It's like, shut up. No, it's not. Yeah, you see the horse, the statue? Yeah, that's his. You can. It's crazy, man.
And you know what? Like my friend Will Hill would always say, you can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't make it up. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, it's like you go to Mexico, you have to have your story. You got to figure out what's going on. First time I ever really went for like a tournament, I went to like northern Mexico, which apparently you don't want to go to, right?
Why is that?
But because that's where a lot of the issues were happening a few 10 years ago, whether it was all the people getting shot and all the drug area and stuff like that, right? And so what I did, I flew into Tucson, Arizona, and then had Luis Gutierrez, who's a promoter, pick me up. And so, I've only been to Austria and a couple other places before then, like other countries.
Sure.
So when you get in, you have to be legit, giving your passport, everything like that. We're in a van, and I'm like, all right, let me get my passport out, ready to go. Boom, right through. I'm like, that was it? Okay. There was nothing. We just went right in.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's just it's completely crazy, man.
That's
Uh,
weird.
yeah,
I remember I had a different experience. I remember when I went to so we were talking about December 11th.
yeah,
And my some people know this, some people don't. My brother is a Marine Corps vet. Okay. Um and he really just used that as a stepping stone. And now we have a military family. Um, my grandfather is kind of a patriarch in that sense. But nobody who actually did combat until my
yeah.
brother. Okay, so
Okay.
and it's interesting when you have like when you get like some great advice from some people you did not expect to get great advice from.
Yeah.
This is one of those times, right? So it wasn't until years after he was in the Marine Corps. And I said, but why? Why? Like, you never really explained why. You always kind of danced around it. You just kind of used a way to tell a joke as to why. Like, tell me why. And he said it this way, and he goes, well, why do you think? I'm like, well, obviously, I don't know, which is why I'm asking.
Why I'm asking? Yeah.
And he said, it's freedom. And it's like, okay, but I understand that. But tell me why. And he goes, did you actually think it was free? Like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess not. And he says, well, so you just assumed someone was going to pay for it? You just assumed, right? Someone was going to pay for it for you. Like, how could you? And he said, he mentioned this. He said, how could you watch what happened and not want to do something about
Yeah.
it? I just don't know. He goes, I just had to do my part, and I had to. So I'm like, oh my gosh, right? I can't believe it. So fast forward, at that point, it's 2003. Okay,
Right.
so he's a Marine Corps now. He's a Marine. Okay, he just graduated. I saw him in the Marine Corps Recruit Depot. Big, awesome time. So we go to Tijuana. So because in San Diego, Tijuana is like literally like across the street. So we go there. It's a different experience getting there and getting back. So when you go to Tijuana, they're like, hey, come on over, friend.
Yeah.
It's Tijuana. Have a good time. When you get back, it's not that dirty.
No.
It was a line that I sat in for easily 6 hours.
Holy crap.
And nobody wants to let you do nothing. So I tell you, there was not a line to get to Tijuana. That should have been my first red flag. Right?
Right.
There was
Right.
nobody. It was just wide open doors. Just, yeah, come right in, friend. Here, we have all this stuff. You don't want to. It's a dirty town.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, yeah, and by the time I'm like, all right, I'm enough. I've had enough of this dirty town. Let's leave. And no, you can't. You can't get back. You got to know somebody who knows somebody who
Oh
drives
man.
somebody to get back.
That's right. Oh
So
man.
yeah, but that's the same thing though. Like the security ramped up big time. So that's what it was. So it's different traveling
Yeah.
after that. What kind of traveling experiences for karate tournaments have you encountered that have been
Uh
interesting, notable moments?
yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've all dealt with the whole, missing your flight and staying there for an extra day and all of that.
No, no, stop right there. I'm gonna stop you right there.
You
No,
have
I've
not.
never dealt with missing my flight because there's a time that you're supposed to be there for. I
All
don't
right.
miss my
Okay.
flight.
Okay.
I've never missed my flight. That does not happen
Well, good job,
because
Alan.
even if some people want to go, oh man, I partied so long, man. You got a responsibility. Get there. I don't care. Yeah.
No,
You
no,
feel
no. I
like
always
a
make
big
make the
bag of poop.
flight.
Get there on time.
All right.
I've
So
never missed my flight.
when I say miss a flight, I mean actually. Let's see, where was I at?
I have a feeling I know it.
The last time I was in New Hampshire, so for New England Open.
New England.
So at midnight, I get a text from the airline that my flight has been canceled. So I'm like, okay, they'll reschedule it. It won't be tomorrow morning at like 9 a.m. It'll be like 11:30.
Oh yeah, I had one of those before.
No, you're not going home till Wednesday. And I'm like,
Yeah, I had one.
what? What? I was freaking out. Like, had no idea what to do. I was on hold for 4 hours, and I'm just like, I'm just like, I'm going to get to bed, and I'll figure out in the morning. I ended up somehow getting on a flight to Rhode Island, to Boston, somewhere to get me home. And then it was a huge storm. And apparently there was some type of like bad storm where the power went out of the whole airport. So then I didn't get home so I got home Monday night. Still better than Wednesday, but
Was it really? Was it really?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
I was just thinking as you're telling this, I'm like, I might have just camped out until Wednesday. Had myself a good time.
Maybe. I don't know. It's not that much to do in that area, but I don't know. Maybe it's true. But
I got family all over in different areas. So when I travel,
yeah,
it was one year. I'm not making this up. I think it was 2006. I don't think, and I travel a lot then. I I think I might have stayed in a hotel room like twice
Really? Wow.
because I have family all over. So like,
Yeah.
all right, so like when we would go to Louisville, right? At the time, my uncle, my mom's brother, who's in the army, he was stationed in Louisville. So I'm like, this is great. I'll
Yeah.
go there. You get to see me compete. This is great. Like before that was New England Open in Marlborough, Massachusetts. Well, I
Yeah.
got my dad's brother, my uncle, who's also an officer in the army, ironically. Okay. Um, Neither one of them did combat. Um, he lives in Cape Cod, right?
Hmm.
So every time I would go to New England Open, I would always stay with them. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and then like I think I went to like Compete Nationals. I had a buddy of mine who was living in SoCal. Um, just everywhere I would go, there was somebody. I think the only one of the only ones that I had to get a hotel room for was the most inconvenient and expensive place to stay. Take a guess where it is. U.S.
Pittsburgh.
freaking Open.
Oh,
U.S.
oh, yeah,
Open.
yeah. All
U.S. Open.
right. So why do you say it like that? Why do you say compete? Why do you say that, man? It's compete
What?
nationals. All right. Shut up.
What are you talking? Compete National.
What is compete? What does that mean? Compete. You compete. You don't compete. You compete.
What?
God, Minnesota people. Jeez.
Actually, you know what's funny about that? Actually, speaking of that, okay, so you make a good point. Do you know when you say the term like tomato,
Yeah.
nobody actually says tomato?
Right.
Nobody says that. Who says that? Right?
No one says tomato. No.
I
Who?
found out where they say tomato.
Where?
Freaking in the UK, they say
Oh,
tomato. So if
really?
anybody in the UK is listening to this, I'm gonna say you guys say it wrong. You say tomato. They'll say tomato basil. This is the strangest thing in the world. Yes, I understand. It's the same word for word language.
Right.
No, we speak a different dialect language. You guys are incorrect. You're wrong, and we're right. So get on the same page. Anyway,
Oh man.
moving on. So
Yeah,
traveling
so
story.
traveling stories. So my first national tournament that I went to, I was 10 years old. Well, it wasn't my first national, but it was the first year that I decided to really compete and travel the circuit, right? Because it wasn't my first national tournament was actually my first tournament, and we'll get into that some other time. But
Wow.
uh, so and then my second tournament was Battle of Atlanta, so crazy. Um, Anyway,
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm nuts, right? My parents are nuts. Anyways, we drove up from Virginia to Atlantic City, and the tournament was in New Jersey. So what we did was we had friends that wanted to ride with us to go hang out in Atlantic City. So we went to Atlantic City, stayed the night, dropped them off, and we went to the tournament. So on the way to the tournament, I see my first hit and run. I also see my first
How old are you
fight.
at this point?
10 years old. And I live in a town of 1,700 people, in the country. So, yeah, I've never seen anything like that before. I see my first hit and run. This is at like 6 in the morning. And then that was on one block. On the next block, I see my first like stabbing or fight going on.
I
Like,
was just hoping. I was like, I hope you saw a knife fight.
yeah, all this going to this tournament. Um, have the tournament, and I end up winning first place, beat in New Jersey, which is like, it's New York, New Jersey. This is Jennifer Santiago's home. This is Metro's home. I end up beating all of them. They're not really happy that I beat all of them. I wasn't supposed to be beating them. Um, and it was cool. It was crazy. Um, then after that, after the tournament, get go back to Atlantic City, pick up the other people, and we get stuck for a week on the way down because of all the snow. We pretty much get 2 hours each day, like down. It was insane. So my first national tournament experience of traveling was not very good. Stay in the hotels and everything, and seeing hit and runs, and there we go, off to the races from there.
Yeah, as long as you got to see a knife fight.
That's right.
Yeah, I had something. So, you learn things like you don't know. Like
Right.
you should know like different things. Like, all right, where on the plane to book your seat. You know,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if you book your seat in this area, that means this. Things like that. Like, no, you don't know that unless you've done this for a couple years, you know? So I'll never forget, I think the first one that I flew to wasn't until 2000, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is New England Open. Which actually I won my division. And then I got smoked by Manny Reyes in the lightweight final. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. In a way where I am not being honorable, whatever. So anyway, so I remember it was my buddy Di. Yeah, dude's name is Di.
Yeah.
Right? He's and then a guy named Wally. So three of us traveling together. So we arrived at the airport, arrived 40 minutes before the flight is supposed to take off. That's when we got there.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have not yet parked the car. Okay.
Okay.
That's when we got there. So I'm not exaggerating. Like, I don't know how it's possible. We were able to go in, get a boarding pass, run. And I'm not exaggerating. Well, because this is 2000, not 2001. We were able to run all the way through the concourse. I'm literally jumping over people. I'm doing everything. I'm a crazy man in an airport, right?
Yeah. Right.
If it was post 2001, they would have shot me. But
Right.
it wasn't. Okay. So I get there and I actually make it. And then they go, oh, yeah, well, sorry, too late. I said, no, I have a boarding pass. It's impossible. Like, there's not two of these for this seat. I'll tell you. See ya. Didn't matter, whatever. So I was like, just things like that you learn. Like,
So you did
don't
miss
show
a
up
flight.
40
So
minutes.
shut up. So you did miss a flight.
Wow.
See, you missed a flight. You just told on yourself, dude. You liar.
I did just tell myself. Wally Hustack. Wally Hustack. It was your fault. You ruined it for me, Wally.
Oh. Have you ever had anything fall out from the overhead and hit you?
No, but I've had the overhead compartment hit me in the head.
Like when you were like putting stuff in or something, it popped back out and
No,
hit you?
like I was walking and this
Oh,
thing opened and hit me in the head.
right. Well,
Yeah, fantastic.
I was on the outside seat. I think I was maybe 12. And at that time, everyone, because there wasn't roller carts, right? So everyone had an actual, you put your suitcase on a cart, almost like a dolly. There wasn't like roller suitcases with wheels on it back in the day, right? When I was growing up.
I'm picking up what you're
Yeah. Yeah. So you would actually have a separate thing so it was metal and everything, right? Kind of like a dolly. And that fell out and hit me like right in the head while I'm sitting. I was bloody, marks, everything from sitting. Yeah, for sitting from yeah, it was that bad. It was pretty bad. it was pretty bad. But yeah, I mean, all right, do you like flying or driving better?
Okay.
Well, all right, okay. But I mean the stories though,
man.
man.
But I will tell you, the best driving story that has ever happened was it was a tournament. It was the Battle of Chicago.
Larry Tankson, right?
Right, Larry Tankson.
Yeah.
This dude hit me up at the perfect time. Okay. This is right at the Bluegrass Nationals. Okay. I'm going to get my prize money and my trophy. At that time, Jamie Cravens, Hamid, BJ, and I, we won team fight that weekend. Okay. First time NK had ever won anything in team fights, right?
Yep.
We'd always been taking second. Okay. So we went and we taken second to like every team. Tom Mitchell, straight up, CJB, section. But we never won. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We beat one of them, but not the other. Okay?
Yeah.
We win. And I win in the light heavyweight division. Beat Greg Bella. Like, it's my homie, right? I'm beat you. So I beat him. And then I beat Ross Levine in overtime for the heavyweight grand. This is his rookie year, right? So I beat him, and then Damon beat me in the runoff. So now I'm over there. I'm collecting everything. Larry Tankson's just stroking my ego. He's stroking big time. So, oh, look at you. You won everything. Nobody beat you today. Look how great you are. Yeah. Look how great I am. Yeah. says, we had this tournament in Chicago. So I'm like, oh, we're there, right? And he starts telling me about the prize money they have.
Yeah.
And as he's telling it to me, he's basically telling me, like, you're going to win it. This is all the money you're going to win. So I've already set it up. This is what we're doing. We're going. Okay.
Right.
So BJ and Hamid, Jamie and I, we go out in Louisville and we spend all of the money, right? We're having a great time. 4th Street Live. That's a great area for a tournament. I miss
Yes.
having
Oh, I miss that
tournament because 4th Street Live is exactly that. That place is live. And that's fun. So we go, and now I've pitched it to Hamid and BJ. Hey, we're going. We're going to the tournament. This is what they're going to do. We're going to go. Okay. So we spent everything we had, right? It's like the next weekend. So we're just broke. So we calculated that we could get down there and we could stay with a friend. And we were going to use the gas money in our prize money as to how we were going to get back.
Right.
Spoiler alert, we didn't win anything. Okay. Now I gotta tell you, there's a few different things that happened on this road trip. First of all, if you want to get somewhere quick and not have to worry about it, just let BJ drive. He'll drive 110 miles an hour while you sleep. Okay.
All right.
Here's something he'll also do. We'll also freestyle
The whole
to
time.
himself or with you the entire time.
Right.
This is not a conversation piece. It's not something where you can join in too. There's no beat. You don't beat, but you don't give him a beat. No.
Yeah.
He's just freestyling. And the problem is after a while you're like, all right, I'm done with it. I'm really, it needs to be done. And then he hits you with a couple of dope lines, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
see that one coming. Keep it going. And then it's not dope, and it's not the same. And it's been 3.5 hours, and he's still going, and there hasn't been a breath, and that's real. Yeah. And
Wow.
it was what else happened? BJ hit you ever hit a bird while you were driving?
Yeah. That's
BJ managed to do that twice in one road trip. How's that possible?
That doesn't make any sense.
He also ran
one
over a
road
deer
trip.
carcass, right? There's just so many amazing things that happened with that one. Right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Where we staying? We got kicked out of the place we were staying at. They were like, "No, everybody's got to leave here."
Yeah.
Like, what the heck is going on? No, but I'd much rather fly. Flying is way easier.
Yeah, but man,
But
you
I
get the
will tell you
cool,
this.
you get the
Listen to
stories
this
and the
one.
talking and stuff. I mean, I really enjoy that. Like, but it depends on who you're riding with. You know, there's some crazies that don't really get it. But
Now, I don't know what it's like in Virginia, but in some areas of the Midwest, you can do this, and it's really good. On the East Coast, Upper East Coast, it happens a lot. But do you ever take the Amtrak?
so I've only done that once, maybe twice.
Yeah, so it's not real prominent. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, it's a real from Lynchburg to DC is pretty good, but then we haven't done from there. So yeah, I don't do it much.
That's the same type of thing in like Minnesota. Like, okay, all you're gonna do is go to Chicago.
Yeah,
because that's where the hub is. It's a big hub in Chicago.
Right.
So, but dude, Amtrak is not. This is the weird part. It's not cheap.
No.
And
it's not faster.
Convenient.
No.
And it's expensive.
Yeah.
Well, it's not cheap, expensive, and it takes a long time too. So, like, what is the point?
Anyway, what's the point? Yeah.
So listen to this one. This one's good. So my buddy Troy Sexton, okay?
Yeah.
He hits me up. I can't remember what tournament he went to. Might have been. I think it might have been New England Open. He went from St. Paul, Minnesota, to New Hampshire on the Amtrak, but it stopped in Chicago. He's like, yeah, Joe said I got to get there. I'm getting there. And so he stops in Chicago. And at this point, I'm in Chicago. I'm now living in the Chicago area. And he says to me, he goes, Alex, they stopped. I don't leave for another few hours. How do I get back home? So I said to him, I was like, bro, you got to take the megabus.
Yeah.
And he goes, what the heck is a megabus? And I was like, dude, get it. You book this thing right now. you could book this thing sometimes for $1, right? Or he books it for $10. $10.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
$10, and it brings him from Chicago to Minneapolis. And when he booked it, it left like 5 minutes later, and it brought him straight.
Jeez.
Yeah. Now, listen, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
It was $10, and that's what you're gonna get. I used to take the Megabus. Never again. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Never will I take that thing again. Okay. I was on that Megabus one time where the cops had to pull the bus over because the bus driver called the cops on someone who was on the Megabus who didn't like where she was sitting. So she wouldn't sit down. So the Megabus driver was like, okay, I'm serious. If you don't sit down, I'm going to call the cops. So the cops had to come in and pull everyone off the bus. It was a big pain. Dude, I'm never taking that bus. Never.
That sounds like me. That same trip when we went to Mexico. So on the way back, our flights get our flights doesn't get canceled. It's that the guy that had us there for all the seminars didn't really have a plan on how to get us back to Arizona. So we drove from the beach, San Carlos, to Hermosillo. Then we take the train from Hermosillo to like an hour, or 2 hours. Then we get on this bus, and it takes us right. It's supposed to take us right in front of the border, but it also gets pulled over by the, cops, ambulance, or whatever they are with guns. So we have to get out, go in. Then we get there right at the border, and then we go walk over the border and get a shuttle that takes us from the end of Arizona to the Tucson airport. And then we might have gotten a cab on the way too. It was crazy, man. I never did that many types of transportation in one day to get there, and I was freaking out that I was going to miss my flight too.
Now, see, I've done things before where I've just told myself like, no, I have to get there.
Yeah,
I have to go.
I have to get. That was the way it is. Yeah.
And I just because I didn't want to stop the momentum I had going, and I knew it was like, okay, what's the likelihood I'm going to win? Okay, big deal. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Because this is what I'm about right
now. Yes.
I love it. And I've done stuff like this, like I mentioned in episodes past, where I have broken foot, and I'll fight. Like, it's not a smart thing to do.
No.
But I did it because of where that will get me long term.
Correct.
As far as an integrity standpoint.
Yeah, the determination, you got to have it, man. And it's like, if you don't have it, then you don't know what it's like to be a champion, and you never will. So,
but that's the thing, is you may never know what it's like to be a champion, even if you did do that stuff.
Right.
Because I did go through all that stuff. Right. Never qualified myself to say, oh yeah, I'm a champion. No. Right. But
yeah, but you are.
Have I slept in a hotel ballroom before because I have nowhere to stay? Yep.
Yeah.
Have I gone somewhere and didn't know how I was going to get back? Yep. And we would do that stuff.
Yeah.
Say, all right, well, who are you going to stay? Like, I don't know. All right, let's crash with someone. I did that one time, and I didn't know where I was going to stay, and I'm like, I'm scoping the place out. Like, all right, how can I get in? Where can I sneak in and crash? Conroy, bless this dude. This dude is cool, right? He saw what I was trying to do. Never forget.
Yeah.
This is a New England Open one time. Alex Dingman,
what's up with the New England Open and you, man? Jeez.
I don't know. I never missed the tournament. Maybe that's why, right? And he's like, "What are you doing right now?" And I said, "Oh no, don't worry about it, coach. Don't worry about it." He wasn't my coach, right? But I just always respected him like that. He goes, "I know what you're doing. I got a room for you." And I said, "No. I'm good. He says, "No, Ryan McGriff's got an extra bed in there. Just go up to such and such a room, knock on the door, you're good." And he was legit, and he hooked me up, and he definitely didn't need to. And he hooked me up one time in Rhode Island when I didn't have one, and he was just like, "Here, you're gonna stay with me."
Yeah,
this dude.
Man, that's crazy. I've done that so many times too. I flew to California for a compete, kind of like that. It was just, hey, can I sleep? Like that. I was just on the determined because it was after CJB, and I'm like, and it stopped, and I'm like, all right, if I don't keep going, then I'm never gonna get picked up. I'm never gonna. What am I gonna do? I didn't know what,
Or get
I
better
yeah,
or
I'd
win.
been, yeah. It's just, so I'm going everywhere I can, and that was the way it was, man. And I mean,
Yeah.
I've done that several times. Like, yeah, same way. Not sure who to stay with, what's going on. Battle of Atlanta before, did that. Well, and a lot of that was Josh's fault, because Josh Horge's fault, because
Why?
I went down planning to stay at his house, and we ended up not staying at his house, and then I lost Josh. So I
He
just
just
stayed.
dipped on you?
No, he was hanging out somewhere else. I was hanging out somewhere else, and this is before cell phones are really like, big, like having on you all the time,
You
and the
can't pull that story now.
and the batteries sucked. So I just found a place to stay, and I went to bed before he did, and yeah, so there you go. And
Wow.
luckily, I'm up trying to find my luggage, everything, trying to get somewhere that would let me get to my flight. And all of a sudden, he pops up. Hey, Jeff, what's up? Don't worry, man. I'm still taking your airplane. I'm like, well, dude, we got like 40 minutes. We need to get there now. Like, but he hooked me up. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. All
Okay.
right. Competitor of the week. We want to get in that?
Let's get into competitors of the week. You go first.
All right. So, my competitor of the week is a historical one, but it's also like someone who actually still competes. And that's Marty Knight. And I think we have discussed it, but not on the show yet, just about who Marty
Sure.
Knight is. And he's from South Carolina. He has competed for years, legend in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, still competing to this. I think he just decided to stop competing this past year or something, right? Kind of like a Joey Shiflett, just still competing in their 60s, competing.
Yeah.
But Marty Knight grew up in that age, training with Keith Vitelli, Mike Genova, that whole era, right? In South Carolina. So, and he also is Nikki Carlson Lee's instructor. And he is also Rick Lee's instructor. He has taught so many different people. The Allen family, Chad Allen, Lucas Allen, those guys that are on USA. Yeah. Those are all under his lineage. Even Brian Plimple is under his lineage.
Wow.
Nate Windsor under his lineage. All those guys are around that area. So just with the Spences under that lineage. So I think I wanted to bring him up because he was the one who really pushed that. You could say Genova, Vitelli, they're kind of all there, and Jennifer still has his school and everything, but Marty Knight has had his school and others underneath him for years. When there's so many different great champions that come from either Spartanburg Martial Arts, Night Strike, which is his school, like Casey Williamson. You have also people like even Cass, who really claims that as his lineage as well too, because he had trained at Marty's school, trained at Rick Lee's school, trained with those guys. Wow. It's just a huge, just the way it is, and how there was a post the other day that Sport Karate Means put up, and it was talking about the states that want 2-point kicks or something, right? And it has everyone that says no is in red, and then it had 2 states that said no data, and one was like North Dakota or something, which makes sense, right? No one competes.
Nobody does Sport Karate in North
Dakota. The other one they put on there was South Carolina. I'm sitting there like, what? Like, that's the kicking state. What are you talking about? Like, Nikki Carlson, Nate Windsor, they're kickers, James White, Marty Knight, all
Maybe
they're kickers. Yeah. No, it wasn't even that. It was just some stupid idiot that just didn't do the research, right? Anyways, so and again, like Wayne Easterly, he's a kicker. Now, again, they also agree. They are all agreed that they want 1-point kicks because they're used to doing NBL rules where it's 1 point for body kicks. Anyways, but the point was that it kind of made me like, wait a minute, we're talking about a state right now that you're saying you're putting in the same category as North Dakota that doesn't have sport karate that we know of. When you have two of the top fighters right now, Blake Spence and Trent Spence that are on there. You have some of the best in history: Brian Plimple, Nicky Carlson, Marty Knight, Rick Lee. So many great ones, and I'm probably forgetting many. I'll include one that a lot of people don't know is James White. In the late 70s, early 80s, James White beat a lot of top people in the Southeast. I mean, he's beaten Keith and he's beaten Geneva and all those guys. But he never really went nationally. Now, what people didn't know is that he actually competed internationally. He would go overseas when other people were not doing that, and he was going. And he was in the, ranked in the Karate Illustrated and everything back in the day. And a lot of people don't know him. So he was a lot of people. He probably arguably was maybe South Carolina's top fighter besides, Nicky. So that's kind of my whole rant just about, how just telling some history about Marty Knight and what he's doing. A great guy, great promoter, still has a great tournament, supports everyone in the area. And one more thing about South Carolina that is cooler that's notable, I think. South Carolina has a Sport Karate Hall of Fame, and theirs is legit. Like they only put it's actually sponsored and supported by the state. The governor supports it and presents
South Carolina
Sport Karate Hall of Fame, and they only put one person in every year.
Wow.
And they get jackets and they do it legit and they make it a big deal. And the actual governor comes and is a part of it. The mayors in the city are a part of it. It's a big deal. Yeah. And they just, I think, appointed Brian Plimple this year. So it's pretty cool. Keith Vitale, a lot of people don't know, is originally from South Carolina.
I didn't know where he was from.
Yeah. Tony Young is actually in the South Carolina Sport Karate Hall of Fame. Yep. And so, I mean, it's really cool, man. They do a good job at it. And most places don't do that. Like, I don't know another state that does that. I mean,
I've never heard of that.
And that it's like legit, you know what I mean? Not just here, come pay this and be in this, you know what I mean? But so big up to them. Also right now, Brian Penna is doing a cool one where there's no fee or anything, and he it's called like the Carolina Hall of Fame, and he's doing that, and they pick 10 people every year and make it a cool thing like that, where it's not here, give me your money for your plaque. We can go on and on about those Hall of Fames, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they are. Whatever.
Yeah. All right.
My competitor of the week is a very notable one. Everybody knows him. He's like that. He should be in everyone's, speaking of Hall of Fame, is Jason Borelli.
Yep.
So Jason Borelli. So we're like the same age, right?
Yeah.
So
that's right.
But we're like the same age. But it was strange. Like, I looked up to the guy because I wasn't as good as him when I first came out. Never forget, like, my brother and I, we were watching he and Ray at the same time, like the late 90s. Wow, look at them. And I said this to my brother. I was like, no, that dude's gonna be something. I was talking about Jason. I was like, you see the way that guy kicks? I'm gonna do it like that. My brother was like, that guy's gonna be something. Talking about Raymond.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna fight like that. And we literally did that.
Yeah.
Right?
That's awesome.
We literally did that. And my brother, if anybody's my brother is a strange guy. He's aggravating because he's one of the more talented martial artists I've ever met. The two most talented martial artists I've ever met, just talent, is Jason Borelli and my brother Adam. Okay.
Wow, that's cool.
So, but anyway, this is not about Adam. This is about Jason. Jason, and one of the things that's so great about Jason, and when I say this, everybody will just start to remember things about him, is when he fights you, he don't care if you're a gold belt or if you just won the world title, he will whoop you. And I think like this is a real thing. Like, he actually did this in a continuous fight. He's fighting a gold belt,
Yeah.
and he broke a gold belt's arm.
Yeah.
Sidekick.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
went to block, and think about it. He blocked, and Jason sidekicked so hard, he broke the man's arm.
Was this at DC Capital
I think
Classics?
this.
Because I remember that
this
was
is
the
at
only
the U.S.
NASCAR.
Open.
Okay, all right. Well, those are the only two that used to have continuous back in the day. So yeah, as far
Yeah.
as a NASCAR term, it was one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just like that. But and he's I believe is just like no, we haven't seen him competing lately, right? I don't know where he's at or what he's doing or how active he is or if he's just like, yeah, I can fight the tournament tomorrow and whoop everybody. I have no idea. But literally, he could possess the ability to just go beat everybody in a tournament tomorrow, or he could lose first round.
Yeah.
Right? So I mentioned this in the last episode when I was joking, and I wasn't joking. I was being serious. How Hamid and I we used to kind of joke around about how we would have like an NBA player for every kind of sport karate competitor. We're like, oh man, you're just like this guy, and
Yeah.
Hamid would say, I'm like Dirk because he's big and long, and shoots like long 3-pointers, but is not
Yeah.
tough at all. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. All right. But I like Dirk Nowitzki a lot, so I took it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I would say, dude, Jason Borrelli is not like an NBA player. Jason Borrelli is Brett Favre.
Okay.
Jason Borrelli is Brett
I haven't
Favre.
heard that.
And here's why.
Heard that one.
Here's why. Here's why. I'll tell you why. That dude, Brett Favre, he could go and throw 4 interceptions in one game. And then the very next game, throw 7 touchdowns and be the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Okay.
All right. That's Jason Borrelli. Right.
All right. See,
I've never seen anything like. I've never seen anything like. In his extreme forms, his athleticism is just.
It's insane.
It's unfreaking matched.
Right.
Right.
Well, see,
and he did
growing up,
he did traditional form.
He did traditional everything. Yeah. See, growing up and actually in the Midwest, they were calling him the Michael Jordan of karate. A lot of the promoters and stuff would call him that. Yeah, no, I know, but a lot of them were doing that, and a lot is because where he was from, Chicago and everything.
Yeah.
So they were doing that a lot. Jason is like my older brother. I mean, that's kind of the way I see him. Somehow, I don't know why, but I would either be rooming with him or rooming with Damon. So you're talking complete opposites, right? So I was a messed up kid. I didn't know how to act on the road from 16 till 23.
Soak it up, man.
Yeah. So it would be like, all right, straight up being like, all right, I'm not doing nothing. I'm staying in the room tonight.
Yeah.
And then the other one going out till 4 or 5. So that's what it was like growing up.
One was staying out till 4 or 5.
Yeah. Let's take a guess.
So speaking of that. And I won't say what it is because that's telling someone else's business.
Right.
But that was the first time I met Jason.
Yeah.
First time I really hung out with Jason. It was like that. He whoops me at the Diamonds. All right. It was in 2002. First time he won the ring. All right.
Yeah.
He wins the ring against Trevor. Now at the time I'm like, we had a close match until he axe kicked me on the top of the head. Not like the head. No. He was gonna go here and then went, wait, there's another level past this. Let's go over his head and let's hit him on top. All right?
Yeah.
Game over. It's done. Here you go.
Oh, man.
He beats Ray in the middleweight grand. He goes on, beats Trevor for the diamond.
And they were on the same team at the time. Yep.
They were on the same team. And I just remember feeling like, dude, this guy's something. He is. And we just got talking. We became friends. We were hanging out.
Yeah.
We were hanging out till like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Ironically, that was the same tournament where I did not have a hotel room. So it was convenient that I had someone who didn't want to go to bed. Right?
Yeah.
That I was hanging with. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just he's a cool guy to hang around.
He is. He is one of the coolest guys. I mean, just one of the coolest guys ever. I know anytime we hang out, we can just sit and act like it's pretty much like it was 2001 again. You know what I mean? And just several times we've been around each other and be like, hey, I know like we got to go, but we'll be sitting the extra 2 hours. I'm like, hey, I got to drive home from like New York to Virginia, like right now. But this is fun sitting here talking, just he's just a great guy. To me, I will still say he's probably my favorite fighter. Um, I would still put that just because for me at the time, I love watching him fight. I and it
Okay, I got
was
a question about
and
that.
it
I
was
got I got a question real
intense.
quick.
Yeah, yeah,
Real quick. Okay. So did you hear the CTE this week?
yeah, yeah. About
Okay.
the
The
middleweights, right?
middleweight. Remember when they were talking about the middleweights?
Yeah.
So what's Jason to you? Is Jason a lightweight or a middleweight?
See, that's hard to say. Yeah, because
That is hard.
all right.
Because I
So
kind of
his
agree.
best
I
his
agree.
best year his best year was 2004. He fought lightweight.
No. Whoa. Wait,
His best year, he
which year?
beat Raymond like
2004?
6 or 7 times. He won 7 out of the. They went
He
head to
was a
head in
middleweight. Wasn't
grands.
he middleweight?
No, because
He
he
wasn't.
it was 2004. They did the lightweight. Remember at Rhode
You're
Island that
right.
year,
He
they
wasn't
brought in
middleweight.
like they
You know,
brought
4
in
hours.
like the guy from Europe or whatever to fight him. I think it wasn't JC Cashman. It was another super lightweight guy. He was. I mean, I just remember that year. He
Yeah,
was like
he beat Ray a number of times.
so many times that year, and yeah, man, it was just. Now by the end of the year, I think he did fight back up to light middleweight and middleweight. So, but that beginning
Yeah.
of the year when he was winning a lot, he was actually a lightweight. So that's hard to say, but I would still put him middleweight. I think he's one of the best middleweights ever. And another one though that people forget though too, but I guess I still think middleweight because at NBL tournaments he would fight middle was Trevor, but in NASCA that division was light heavy. So when
Well, wait a minute though.
2000 2002
Wait.
it was what
How long was Trevor? How
what
many years?
2 years maybe something like that maybe
So then
yeah
he's really not a
yeah
middleweight.
yeah
He's a heavy.
correct but I still think the glory days of those guys was that 2000 to 2004 kind. You know what I mean? Like to me, I'm now again. Trevor's done a lot of
But
stuff back then.
2004, he wasn't even a middleweight anymore.
No, he was he
Light
beat
heavy.
he was light heavy because he beat Raymond in the division in 2003 and probably I don't know about in 2004 if
No,
they
in
were saying one.
2003, he was a middleweight.
Well, he beat him in the division for first place.
Which tournament are you talking about?
Diamonds.
No,
And
he
then
didn't.
he
No,
did
he
because
didn't.
they were on the same team. And he goes 1, 2, 3 right after he quit CJB. He got kicked off
You mean he
CJB.
didn't beat Elias Lemon for first place? Gotcha.
All right, you're right. That was first place. All right, he beat him in the runoff. Then my bad.
Yeah.
He beat him in the runoff.
Yep.
Okay, so either one, both of those fights, he goes 1, 2, 3.
Yes, you're right. That did
and
happen.
and all of us are
right there
like
for that.
CJB.
And that was an awkward moment.
That was awkward moment is, but and I think we might discuss this too. Is like that weekend he was so pissed because he wasn't even on the fighting team for Paul Mitchell. They didn't even start him. They didn't even fight him. And
Yeah.
and then guess what? He goes on beats everyone. And I remember us. It was the final again. This is something that people forget too. So 2002, it was
4 in a
Jason.
row.
4 years in a row, it was Jason and Trevor in the finals for the Grands.
Don't say people forget, because if it comes to diamonds and me, I don't forget.
No, I know. Yeah. I mean, I remember saying that next to Larry, and he was like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah." I was like, "This is the 4th year in a row that they're against each other." He's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, and the crappy thing about it, one of those years they didn't even run the damn final. Sorry, in on stage. They did it in the daytime.
Because that was the first year that they did
the super
they
fights.
were doing the super fights.
Yeah. And to me, that was where the diamond kind of went a little off for me, as far as the prestige of the diamond ring. I thought the super fights was really cool, especially it was cool to see Brian come back that year. Brian Ruth came back.
That display of the super fights was cool for that tournament because everybody did it.
Yeah.
Everybody did it. Everybody entered, and all the main guys were there,
But Jason was it was Jason and Brian, right?
Jason and Brian won.
Yeah.
That yeah, that one I felt like I don't know, Brian, I don't know. Some of those acts look like
Yeah.
they smacked you in the back of the face.
That
You
was
know,
where
I don't
I
know,
got a.
man.
So that was a big thing for me with the super fights. I didn't really think they really liked kicks. You know what I
I
mean?
hate street fight. I hate
Yeah.
street fight. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you what. So you're right. They say we don't like they didn't like to call the kicks.
No,
And they
they didn't ever.
literally had a rule. They had a rule, which I tried explaining to them. Like your logic makes you sound, I don't know, like you don't know the English language. Like I don't understand, right? They said you can't score with your front hand. I said, what are you talking about? You can't score with your front hand. Doesn't make any sense. They
Yeah.
said, nope. Your front hand is really just a setup technique. It doesn't actually do anything. I said,
Serious?
wait, so you're gonna tell me, like, if I were to punch you in the face with my front hand right now, that wouldn't do anything? No,
Right.
no, no, no. It's just the setup technique, Alex. I was like, watch me set something up.
Right.
I'm gonna show you how mad I am. Right? And they're like, nope, it's not gonna happen. So then, and they're just, and the parent NASCA is, they just did that on the fly,
Yeah.
just making rules up, just pulling stuff out of anywhere, right? So eventually, people stopped entering the division, and the only tournament that had it for a number of years was the Diamonds, and
Yeah.
that was really only because of the way that they promoted it and the way that they set it up.
Yeah.
But even then, they're like, all right, this is running full.
Right. Dude, they must not have watched Brian Plimple versus Brian Ruth at Battle of Atlanta that year. Then, if they're going to say that a front hand's not going to do anything, I mean that's
Right.
what Brian Plimple does. It's back fist. I mean, those
But
guys
there
were
was
killing each
one,
other.
and it was Brian Ruth against Ben Stewart. I think this is the Rolex challenge.
Yeah.
And Ben's a big dude.
He
He's a
is.
strong guy.
He is.
And I think Brian knocked him out with jab. Right?
Yeah.
And yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
setup technique.
Yeah.
Alex. The front hand doesn't do anything. Doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, it really shouldn't even score. Yeah, go kick rocks with your made up rules. Anyway,
Oh man.
so your competitor of the week was one more
Marty.
shout out.
Yeah, Marty Knight, South Carolina.
My
And
competitor of the week is Jason Borelli,
the man.
from Philly by way of Chicago. Okay,
Right.
this is a time.
Hey, time out. You know where? You know how many different places Jason's lived?
Well, this is a good point.
All right, he was in Quebec. He was in Cali. He was in Chicago. He was in Philly. He was.
Well,
where else?
What? Wait. Okay, so yes,
I'm missing
correct.
some other places.
You're correct by all of it. I'm sure Kalamazoo. I'm sure.
Yes.
All sorts of stuff.
How did I miss that one?
Colorado. He's been in Colorado. Well, because he was dating Stephanie, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, but wait. Time. What place claims him most?
Chicago. Yes.
All right.
Yes, that's right. Jeez. See, he's been everywhere, man.
Right.
Right.
But that dude's Chicago. He is Chicago. The only person who I would say, like, all right, is more Chicago
is his
would
dad.
be Juwan Brown. Juwan Brown.
Okay.
Chicago. That's one of my dudes right
there. I enjoyed hanging out with him over Christmas this year, man. It was fun.
Oh man. And I tell you, this 10-day karate challenge thing, I've actually enjoyed it. It's been kind of fun.
See, all right. See, on the other show, they don't like the challenges and nothing.
No,
I know.
CT, they're like, challenge me.
Yeah.
I'll challenge you. You don't challenge me. I don't accept anything. I'm okay. I understand. That's fine. I'll take a couple moments to go down memory lane. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm beneath them.
That's right.
They're above me.
It's okay.
Yeah, but no, the 10-day karate challenge thing, that's been kind of cool. There's been a lot of stuff that I just straight up forgot about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even dig as far as I really could because I just have so much stuff. No, I really did.
There's a couple days where I'm like, oh yeah, so I was supposed to do something karate related. Oh yeah, what was I supposed to do? Oh yeah, it was some kind of picture. Yeah.
Well, one day I cheated. I actually posted day 6 twice. with different pictures because I was just like, man, I got to get some extra ones in. Like my last day,
Oh,
I
so you're
put
doing
like
it that way.
I put like
I
10
just
in,
skipped. I just skipped a couple of days, and I'm like,
bro.
all
I
right, I'll
got
just
too
say this is
many.
day 4, when
I
really
got
day
too
4 was
many.
supposed to be like 3 days ago.
Oh man, well, social media. All right, we'll get into some of this through
Let's
this.
go into
So
social media on our
so
next topic,
here's an
which,
issue. Here's the issue with me right now. All right, so
all right, go ahead.
all right, man, this may be a long story, but
Okay.
Facebook marketing for your tournament, right? So I was
Respect.
not. I'm not trying to put myself over or anything like that, but when my tournament came out, 2009, 2010, people were just kind of hinting at it a little bit, right? And I just
Okay.
went all in with it, right? And to at a point to where I was annoying because I was tagging everybody and doing this and that. So I
But
understand,
that's important.
but that was important. But it was also all like positive stuff. It was all trying things to get people hyped, trying to do something that like got people excited, right? And then it turned into me putting set fights and things like that and doing stuff like that.
Okay.
And even I even admit sometimes I got out of hand with it because you get overwhelmed with it. You're like, I got to do this for my turn. I got to do this and that. If I don't put this out, this post out, this many posts out each day, people aren't going to come.
All
And
right. So
and
where's the
and
gripe?
and the truth is that's not true at all. Okay, my gripe is when people instead of like hyping your tournament to make it like something about your tournament, they want to throw in someone else and complain about someone else's tournament to hype up their tournament, or to be
How?
like, or to be
What do you
like,
mean? What do you mean?
these people are trying to sabotage my event. Okay, then call those people out and talk to them. Don't gripe about it on the internet. You know what I mean? Because all it does is make you look like all you do is whine, and complain about this and that.
Yep.
And then, so then this is my issue right now
What's
because
your issue?
because when I ask someone, so if you have a tournament and then
Okay.
you have a post like that that's complaining, and then you
Yep.
tag one person, and that one
Yep.
person's me, what does most people think? That I'm the person complaining or I'm the person trying to talk crap about your tournament, right?
Uh-huh. When
No,
really he probably just wanted you to chime in and comment,
right?
but
Or he
because
wanted,
you're not going to do that, they
yeah,
think you're the guy.
right, exactly. And so I
And
approached him about there. It's like, well, I just want everyone to see it, and you have a lot of followers. Well,
exactly.
okay, but that's not right. You know what I'm saying? Because to other people's perception, especially if,
Block that dude.
yeah, and it's, I'm sorry if I get offended when people do that. Even the other day with Ski did that, right? And I just asked Ski, I was like, hey, is this something positive or not? But he only tagged 2 people, and it was like me and Alex Reyes. I'm like, wait a minute, are you complaining about me, or you're? And he was like, no, that it wasn't. I just want the young people to see it. I'm like, okay. So I'm in that kind of point right now where, and it's been like that for a while. People tag me because, I have a lot of followers and all this and that. I have to delete people
People
every
know
week.
Jeff
Yeah,
does.
people know who I am, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. But just let me know what it's about before. You know what I mean? I'm actually okay with people doing a post and having 40 people and me being one of the 40 people. You know what I mean? Then one post
Then if
and
it's like
me,
2,
yeah, one
yeah.
because then really it looks like it's about me, right? Do you know what I'm saying?
And how is it? There's been some of them where I've been tagged in, and there's 150 people tagged. I didn't know that was possible.
No, it used to be like 50 or something like that
Yeah.
was the
I mean, there was
limit.
something. It was like over 100, and I'm like, I don't know how you can do this, but all right, all
Yeah,
right, thumbs up.
yeah. And you know, for me, it's like if you're gonna tag me where it's just me or 2 other people, then it's like you're asking for my opinion or you're doing this or that. Like Akin will put something up and ask, and he'll put me and 2 other people and actually say, "Hey, what do you guys think?" That's different than a gripe or something or bashing or whatever else. And man, I'm not trying to be a part of that. I don't need any more drama in my life. I did that whole thing with the being a. If you want drama in your life, be a karate tournament promoter. You kind of You know, all right. You'll deal with all that and you get all that. But that's my gripe. I may have sounded like I have sour grapes. I don't know. I'm just saying, if you are tagging someone to promote a tournament, or you're putting something out to promote a tournament, then do that and promote it in the most positive way you can. Ignore any other things going on. If there are issues like that, then deal with those people directly. You know, that's just
And
my opinion.
really, we need more good tournaments.
Right.
And
Right.
I had I had this conversation with Richard Cloud, and if you just I love talking to him
Yeah.
because
Same.
he's just he's just a really intelligent, smart, respectful guy. I love talking to him just about anything. And sometimes we just talk, we just won't talk about karate at all, right? Anyway, we were talking about just how the team, everybody wants to have a team, right? So if there's 40 teams in 4 tournaments, what are we really doing here,
Yeah.
right? What's the point of being on the team, right? The team helps a few, the tournament helps many.
Yeah.
So really, you're not helping a lot of people. If you
No.
have the team, it's about you, right? If you have the tournament, it's about everybody else.
Yeah.
And listen to me, I'm the one talking, and I don't have either, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the reality, though. And there are some people, and we talked about this before. Like, if you have a tournament, should you have a team as well? And you know
Correct.
what? I'm a little conflicted on that. I actually feel like sometimes it's okay because if you have a tournament, okay, let's say straight up. Okay, let's say Joe Greeno. He did his backwards where he already had straight up and then he got the New England Open.
Yeah.
Let's say he did it the other way around. Okay, let's just say for the sake of conversation, he had the New England Open. New England Open. Let's say he got it. He opened. Starts small, starts to build up, starts to build up. Okay, now I've got a big group of people. I'm in high school. I'm going to send a team out, and we're going to be team New England Open.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that now is promoting your tournament. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
America
No.
did it like that too.
Yes, they're
I
they're a
don't
big
know. I don't
franchise,
know.
so it's different.
Yeah.
I guess for me, it's so you have your karate school, then you have your tournament, and then you have a team.
Yeah.
So,
The
but
triple threat.
I guess yeah, but for me, it's like where's the conflict is on. You have your karate school, and they have a team that competes, and then you decide to go and put on your own team with people from other schools. That's where I see like the conflict. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. That and
And
yeah.
so
And
even for me, when I really started to build up my school team more, that was when I stepped away from. That was when I decided to stop being on proper because it was a conflict of interest. My
yeah,
students
that
didn't
is. I
understand.
can see that.
My students
Good
didn't
point.
understand me competing for someone else, but pushing them, everything else. And even at the time too, the team didn't understand me, like not being as involved with them because I was focused on my students. So there's that conflict of interest, and you're adding more and more of that, and then you're just putting on a tournament on top of it. There's just so many different hats that there's only so many hats you can wear. And then if you also are a promoter, then that means that the other tournaments you're a coordinator or you're a center judge, and you also have to coach your students. And then if you want to run your other outside team, you got to coach them. Then you want to compete. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot. We're one of the only sports that you could do that.
Yeah.
I don't know of any other sport where you can
That's
do that.
wild.
It's a good thing and bad thing, and that's probably one of the reasons why we are where we are, because of that. And I'm guilty of that as well. Um, but
Well,
I've done the whole thing of stop competing and focus completely on that. And honestly, I wasn't happy. You
right.
know, I mean,
Because you want to compete.
well, it's just fun. It's who I am. I mean,
Exactly. That's what we
what is
do.
it? Yeah, what is it that got you into martial arts? You know what I mean? And honestly, here's one
Doing
of the
martial
things.
arts.
Here's one of the things. It's like you get to a certain point, your students follow you and they watch you, right, compete. And then
Keep bringing it.
you are getting those people up there. Then you have those people that are competing, and you can step away for a while. But guess what? Not everyone is like you. And not everyone's going to do martial arts for the rest of their life like you. Right?
Yep.
So those top 2 or 3 students, they're on the college. They're gone for a while. Now you have these other ones. They have no one else to follow and look up to. That's when you, as their starter, you got to step back in and compete again if you want to keep them going. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a lot of different things that could
Oh,
be the
yeah.
case, but that's
Oh, yeah.
another.
No, I know, but that's what I mean. I mean, you don't always have to, but if you want to, like, I get
I think
this.
it's good for you. Here's the
Yes.
it's good that you do. And one of the reasons why is, especially for someone like Jeff Doss, is because you are very passionate and you cannot fake that. People see that, people sense that.
Right.
So when you are in that environment, that just oozes out.
Yeah.
So that's why
True.
it's good for you.
Yeah.
I told people, you know, I was gonna hang it up. I was gonna be done. I was never gonna do anything again after 2012. Like I'm done. BJ just knocked me out.
Yeah.
I literally broke my freaking leg. I broke my leg. People don't know. Yeah, I was playing basketball. Broke my leg. Right. I didn't get my ankles broken. No, I grabbed a rebound. Right. From this dude who was like 6'5", and I landed on his foot and my leg snapped. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this again. And the reason I came back and I decided I was gonna do this was I was just gonna do this all the time. Was my students had really, and in Chicago, they'd never seen me do
Right.
anything, right?
That's
And
what I
so
mean,
I'm like,
man.
no. This is possible. This is what it's supposed to look like. Let me go out there. And it's just with the understanding, like, dude, I can go out there and lose all the time. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not about me.
Right.
And it started. Well, I think this is a good segue into
Oh, God.
our next topic, which is, should it stay or should it go? Now,
Dun, dun, dun.
we're gonna approach this a little differently this time, versus both of us going back and forth as the things that we think should stay or go. We're just gonna bring up a couple of topics as the things that we think should stay or go. We're just gonna discuss them. So I'll bring up the first one, and I didn't even tell you about this one yet. So CMX,
All right.
Creative Musical Stream, should it stay? Go. What do you?
All right. Are we talking? So we're talking about pretty much the grands, right? Is that because that's the grands, that the CMX grands, right? Is that what you're saying?
Grands, and as it like a division itself.
It's not a division. It's like
Okay,
three.
yeah,
It's three
basically
divisions combined. So the
Go ahead.
grands, I think no, that should go because it makes no sense to put the creative. You're telling the creative they can't do this or this and this, and you're telling the extreme they can do whatever the heck they want, and then the musical they can do whatever the heck they want. And who gets screwed over every time? The creative, and they're the
Yeah.
ones who's supposed to be creative. And
How many people have won overall who did creative? I can only think of one.
maybe 3. Yeah, Tyler Weaver's done it a couple times.
Marcel Jones did it.
Marcel, what's his name, did it recently.
But Marcel
Short
Jones
kid,
did it.
short kid
Marcel
with.
Jones did it when
You could
you
change
could still
it.
do.
Yeah.
You could still do extreme, but he just
Yeah.
chose to do creative.
Right.
You got it.
God, why can't I think of his name? From used to be Straight Up. I think he's AKA short little kid. Jumps crazy
Davies.
high.
Davies.
Yeah, David Allen. Yeah, yeah. He won recently with that, or
Well,
last
guess who
year.
his who's his coach? Marcel.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
yeah. I mean, it's for me. It's like that. I mean, it's just in NASCAR. No, I've never done it. In NBL, yeah, I've done a lot against those same people. I mean, I won't do flips and and win divisions, but that's just the way it is.
Having a creative division, it just screwed everybody. It screwed everybody over. It's really
think so. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
what they did is they put it here, and I remember having a conversation with Larry Carnahan and a couple other NASCAR promoters, and they used Anthony Murata as an example. And I said, "You guys don't understand. This is a horrible example." So they would say, really, does he really have a chance to beat these guys? I mean, look at him. Look at Steve Torada. I was like, you're kidding me. He's beaten Steve Torada
Yeah.
when the division
Yeah.
was open.
Right. Right.
And he was like, well, no, he's not actually going to do it. I was like, no, Steve, you're not paying attention.
Paying attention at all. Yeah.
He already is.
Yeah.
I was like, but what you're doing is if you do this and say, okay, now there's a division just for guys like Anthony. That's the way they envision it. Like, here's what's going to happen. Now, guys who don't do extreme, because Anthony did do tricks. He was just clean, and he was probably someone close to your heart because he did standing kick.
Right.
Here's
Right.
the only person who did standing kick.
Yeah.
Right. So what they thought was, oh, here's a division for them, and then
And it
here's
didn't
a division
work
for everybody who does extreme.
And guess what?
Problem,
Who won
just
the first one? Who won the first year of creative ever? Anthony Atkins, the most tricking guy there is.
Exactly.
What it became was whoever jumped the highest won. And they limited it too much because what they shouldn't have done, here's my deal. If you're going to put a martial arts video, you don't limit the martial arts. So you shouldn't have limited the spins or anything. If you want to say no upside down, okay, do that. No flips.
Add
do
a
that.
kick to it. Just
But
add a kick
but
I don't-
spinning, like you should be able to elevate your martial arts up. You know what I mean? Not they made it to where, and this is what they really told me. I remember the first year this happened because all of us
It was like
were pissed.
2004.
They told me because I was like, all right, this is cool. Let me get out there and try and really be creative with my kicks. I did the first time I did the multiple kicks on my knee, right? They told me that was too extreme. That wouldn't have been done in the 80s and 90s, and that's what they want to see in that division. I was like, well, then why are you calling it creative? Don't call it creative, then just call it
traditional.
Call it copycat, or like really what probably, because there was the American division, which the American
hard style
should have been that. The problem was that they were trying to take the Korean division, actually make it a real Korean division, because the Korean division was more the creative division, and then the American was the tricking division. And really, the names should have been messed. They should have stuck Korean and let them do that. American should have been more of a creative division and just call it American, and then do extreme. But either way, it messed everything up.
See, I don't even agree with that.
It just messed everything up.
It should have just stuck with open. Just
yeah, that's fine.
Open.
Yeah.
And then let the judges decide what we should do.
Correct.
Because if you go out there,
no. I don't want the judges to decide for me to do anything. No,
it's too late
screw
now.
that.
Well,
no, the competitors should decide what the heck you should do.
No. I don't mean that. I mean let them go out there, do whatever the heck they want.
Yeah.
And let the judges decide who wins. Here's my form. Take it or leave it. This is what I got.
Right. And I like that because I mean, and what's funny is that we did that for a long time. I don't know. I can go in and out with a lot of different stuff, but I think I mean.
Uventex has ruined it. And what it also did is it gave too many people multiple titles.
Well, right? yeah, that's true.
Because then here you go. All right. You take all right, let's take probably the most winningest, most titleist having female ever, which is Caitlin Michelle.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So if she's a good martial artist, okay, and she's got a good sword form, and she can do extreme.
Yeah.
She's gonna win everything.
Right.
Actually, everything.
Yeah.
All right.
Creative, extreme, musical, traditional.
Musical, extreme, because she can do all of the extreme moves.
Yeah.
So is it easier or harder for her to do the creative moves? Easier.
Yeah.
Because she's doing things that aren't as difficult.
Right.
So now you gave her a division which she's already winning in extreme, and a division that she's already winning now in musical, because it's basically the same. And you gave her an easier route in creative when you thought, oh, what did you think? Like, she'll just go, oh, I don't need to do that too. Well, why not? You're going to give me prize money for it, so I might as freaking well.
Right.
Why wouldn't she do that?
Yeah, so especially when it used to be $100 a division.
Was create an extra division just for her, and you screwed. I don't want to out her. This is a lot of people done.
Yeah.
Right? How about Reed? Right.
Right.
And you screwed the other people who might have had a chance if you left it open and just said, we'll call this open division. Now
Right.
the other people who are different and want to differentiate themselves and don't need to do all of the extreme moves,
Yeah.
but want to get
Yeah.
actually creative
Right.
within their forms, all right? They're not even competing with them.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is for me was when this division came out, everyone was like, "All right, this is the perfect division for you, Jeff. This is going to be a kickers division." And
On
that's what a lot of
paper,
people
yeah.
on paper it should have been, and that was
Yep.
we were at the very bottom all the time, even however creative we were. And that's just the way. I mean, it's weird. Sometimes there were some that kind of got that, but really more it turned into more of a gymnastics type style thing where, and when I say that, it's okay, you have to do this pass to this and you have to do this and this, and everyone did the same
It was
thing,
the
the
same
butterfly
form.
kick and the illusion kick and all that, and whatever tricks we can do, we did every single hard creative trick we could in this form, and it's like, come on, man, that's not what it's about. But
Exactly.
so
Okay, so we
we
agree.
both agree on that one.
DMX,
All right,
bad.
we
Okay,
we might have to end the show on this next one. So
this next one. Blah, blah, blah. Should it stay? Should it go? Uventex. Should it
so,
stay
so are we
or should
saying,
it go?
all right, are we saying Uventex, or are we saying electronic scoring? Or are we saying just the idea itself, or are we talking about an actual company?
You want to ask me what I think?
Go.
Uventex, juices, get out of here.
All
It
right,
doesn't
let's
help.
hear it.
I'll tell you right now, it doesn't. I'm I'm this close from saying it's just a big scam. Right? There's nothing helpful from it. Right?
Okay.
And it's really not. When you're sitting around and you're waiting for the system to load, for everybody to get set up,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a problem. If your system requires everyone to be trained on something that I could just write down on a piece of paper, there's a problem, right?
Yeah.
And if the explanation is that, well, people need to be trained, well, then you know what that is? That's just like mini discs. Remember mini discs?
Yes, I love
Exactly. It was a piece of technology
yeah,
that was a little bit better than a CD
yeah.
that nobody cared about
No.
because nobody had mini disc players.
Right.
Mini discs were supposed to not skip like CD,
CDs.
and they
Yeah.
were smaller and more compact. But you know
Right.
what? People didn't care about that because nobody sold mini discs and nobody sold mini disc players. So even if you had a mini disc player and you wanted to get, oh, let me get this new album, they don't have it on mini disc. So what's the point of this? So you trying to push like, no, mini discs are better. This is better. This is better. This is better. You're just yelling in the wind because it doesn't help you at all. It's the same thing here, right? This is best. I'm gonna tell you this, okay? This is that it's actually they know too much information.
Right.
Would you say that's probably accurate?
No, I agree on that too much.
Okay, how about this?
That
How is
so
this?
I'll say
How is
some of
this
my
okay?
flaws. Yeah, with it.
How is this okay that I know what every single one of my students registers for a tournament, and I
Right.
just get an email about that? I'm sure they're probably going to cut that off now that I'm saying this, but whatever, I don't care. All right. So how is that okay? So now here I am, daddy, controlling what happens and what doesn't happen. That's not right. Right.
Right.
And I listen, this is not the first time I've said this. I've been on the record saying this many times. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And where's the area where Uventex does the best? Florida, because everybody's been using it. Really, we don't care about it. All we really want is a scoreboard. So you just want a scoreboard and
Yeah.
for you to do your
It's true.
job. And don't ask one of the spectators to be the timekeeper and scorekeeper. You, as the tournament promoter, figure out who your judges are going to be and who your timekeepers and scorekeepers are going to be. You train them to do your tournament. But that's not the situation we're in right now. The situation we're in right now is Uventex. Okay, you're going to come in and you're going to do all this. But then Uventex is going to say, well, hey, you've got to get trained in. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Trained in what?
Yeah.
We don't know what this is. All right. This has been going on for years and years and years, and there's still flaws. Right. So if it goes, this is always the argument. Oh, if this goes the way it's supposed to go, easy. There'll never be a problem. Everybody will just show up. The tournament will be done earlier. When has that ever been the case? It has never ever been the case.
So
you can register.
You have a
it.
lot of arguments with that, with everyone that will say, well, because Uventex, this ran faster, this. I just think
they're lying.
I don't
They're
think
lying.
it's because of
They're
the
lying to
system.
themselves.
I think it's because of whoever is more organized and prepared. I think no matter what you're using, if you know how to run it the right way, if it's cards, if it's paper, if it's computer, if it's whatever, then it'll work. Now, I've never been in an issue when I had to do it the old way where I was held up for several hours. I have several times when I've ran other systems. So I'm just telling you that, you know what I mean? So I was the first. I had to be the guinea pig for two systems as a promoter. So I was the guinea pig for Uventex, one of the first ones for NBL, and I was the guinea pig for Events Reg. Had issues both times. Not going to talk right now about one or the other. Put them against each other. I don't. Yeah, I know. I don't need to, but there's always been issues. And when you can tell me that, oh, well, you didn't train your staff this or that time. Well, when we had 5 to 6 training sessions on it, yeah. No, I know how to run a tournament. I have people doing everything the right way. Half of my parents wanted to do it the older way. I'm just telling you, that's just the way it is. Now, I didn't plan to come here and bash Moshi or Uventex or whatever. Moshi and I have had our differences, and people can say whatever with all that. We had a good talk recently last year at was it last year? Yeah, at DC, and just try to squash whatever issues there were between us, just not using the system anymore. And you know what, like, if I decide not using it, if I decide to not use a system, that shouldn't mean that like everyone should be out to get me. You know what I mean? And that was just kind of how I felt when I decided not to use a system. His or another one, the Venture, same thing. It was just kind of like, why would you not do this? Why would you not do that? And you know what? It's just I choose not to.
As a consumer, as a customer, another way of saying competitor,
right?
What do we really want? We want a way where we can register online.
Yep. And we want to see the scores. Yeah, we want to see the scores.
All we really
That's
care
it.
about.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
But
well, the problem is there's too much data. There's way too much data, and here's the deal. So I don't want to get all the particulars between this league and that league and everything and all this, but if a league wants to do it, a league needs to actually do it on their own. All the leagues need to have their own system that does it and run it, and it just be for that. But when
why do you think they're not though?
Because they have every league now. And they have all the data.
They're waiting for this to fall in its face,
right?
And then they can go wash their hands free of it.
Yeah. But here's the deal: if you want to really, whenever you get into something like this, and you make that agreement, there's going to be issues because both sides are trying to protect their baby. You know what I mean? And so I just think that's where that conflict kind of happens.
So then who's the one that tells the truth?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so
there you go.
Listen, this is, and then there's always they weren't trained. Okay, so if you if the system sends out a text message just saying, "Hey, your division's now been changed to 4:30,"
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot
the
of
division
issues with
wasn't going to
that.
be till 7,
Yeah.
and you get there and everybody rushed to it. Is that people who didn't know how to run the system? Was that people not being properly trained, or was that a faulty system? That's a faulty
No,
system,
that's, yeah. Yeah.
right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
with people not being able to understand that they need to take ownership of what's happening here. And in the other word, ownership, there's just too much information that's being shared. Okay, so I mentioned this a number of times. Okay, so I know every single one of us. I know what they've all registered for the year. All they have to do is just register for a tournament that uses Uventex, which is pretty much all of them now, and
Yeah.
I get an email right away. That's
Yeah.
not okay. Why do I need that
What
information?
it? Yeah. Yeah.
That's not if I'll ask them. We can have a conversation about that.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if
Well,
I'm the
and
only one who
then
has that, I'm not the
no,
only one who has
and
that
there's things
information.
on the other
Everybody
end.
has that.
Right. And if you work the tournament, you know things you probably should know. I don't really think that it's my
Mm-hmm.
business to need to know how many competitors a promoter had at a tournament. I really don't think
Yep.
I mean, you know what?
And then you can tell the lies.
Right. So I mean, I just think that there's certain things like that that just we don't need. I mean, there's goods with it. I'm not in here just to, because I think I like certain things. I like the appearance of it all. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the registration part is one of the better ones. Uventex to me is one of the easier online registrations to use.
No, but you know what was
Um,
better? It was just as good, I should
well,
say.
what, Matt?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Martial Arts Technologies. It was
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Hunter, bring that system back. I
yeah,
liked it.
yeah,
Just as
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Okay. I want to end on a positive note. The third thing of should it stay or should it go? After parties.
Yes, they need to. All right,
Tournament after parties.
they should come back. Okay, let's just say. I
Yes.
don't know if there
Every
are any
tournament
anymore.
used to
Man,
have
that was so
an
much fun. I'm glad
after
because I
party.
was gonna say something earlier about it when we were talking about how much we miss bluegrass. Bluegrass Nationals for me had the best after party, especially as a kid. Like they used to. All right, they had the kid party on one side. Across the hall was the adult party. So much fun, man.
Yep.
And then the Battle of Atlanta adult part, kids party and the I mean, it was crazy. Um,
The
and
Diamonds had
even
it
the
like that, but then they
Diamonds,
got to the point where they couldn't differentiate kids from adults, so they just left it open, and now it's a kids party.
yeah, but man, a lot of adults go there because honestly, that's where like the better music and stuff is, and then just the promoters hang out in a room or whatever in the other one.
Yep.
So it's like you go to this one to get food, and then you go this one to have fun.
Got it.
That's right. Yeah, I missed that, man.
Well, you know
One
the
thing
tournament that got the best one,
go.
Irish Oak.
Well, yes, yeah, I haven't been there. I hate I haven't been
The
there. That's probably the only
just
tournament I
go.
haven't been
Just go
to. I
one
know.
time. Just
I
go
know.
one time,
I'll just go and hang out.
and you got to go fight.
All right, I'll do that too. I'll do that too.
And Nick or Joey should DJ. It is
Yeah, it's fun.
it's a blast. It's the best
See,
tournament after party that's ever.
see, when I was growing up, the after party for us was always fun. Was Super Grants because it was always New Year's Eve, so that was cool because you're like, you have if you lost at the tournament, you still had a reason to party because it was New Year's Eve. So it was
Yeah,
kind of
I've
like,
never
yeah,
done a super grand before.
yeah. So and then they had the stage in the middle. Now, not every year was great, but when it was in Savannah and the stage was in the middle of the tournament and
You
it
mean
was the
they do the super
balconies.
grands that's not in Buffalo?
Yes, yes. All right, shut up. I don't even get me started on that. So, anyways, so in Savannah, it was like the atrium, right? And so they had the finals in the atrium. So you could sit if you had a balcony hotel, you could sit from your room watching the finals, which is pretty cool, right? So
That's actually really cool.
so they did the finale and the party on the stage. So everyone's hanging out, partying and stuff. it's fun, man. It was just cool, and then they have the bars and everything else going around. But for me, it was fun to bring in the new year with karate people because I don't really, you don't see them all the other times,
Yeah.
and you are into the same thing. They're in the same thing as you. So for me, that was it. Some people don't like that. That's fine. Everyone has their own New Year's traditions. I mean, I
I've always
loved
wanted to do a
when,
super grand with
you know.
this the family time with like right
Well,
after
yeah, I
Christmas.
know,
It's
dude.
so fun.
You know when my
I don't
birthday
think I'll
is,
ever be able
bro? Do you know when my birthday is? It's Christmas
to do it.
Day. My
Get
birthday
the
is
heck
Christmas
out of
Day.
here.
Yeah, for like the past 7, 8 years, I've worked on my birthday. Okay, like I've been like running registration or getting the tournament set up or doing some of that on my birthday. Okay, so yeah, I have the biggest gripe of anyone.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I guess
yeah,
you got a good
yeah,
point.
yeah.
All
So
right,
I
I
mean,
did
I
not know
get, I
that.
get it. Yeah. So I get it. We don't have to get into all that, but I'll tell you the fun stuff. That was one of my favorite after parties. Bluegrass, Diamonds. I like Diamonds at the old hotel where you could see on the glass, and the glass was out. You could see over the top of the hotel. I'm trying to remember that.
Oh, when it was in St. Paul.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, in
I know what
St.
you're talking
Paul.
about.
And see,
Yeah, that was cool.
one year, Super Grands was in Hollywood, and it was on the very top. And the after party was the very top of that, and it was all glass, so you could see all over Hollywood and stuff. That was pretty cool. That was fun. And
That's pretty dope.
Ernie Reyes showed up and partied with us. That was cool.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that was fun. Um,
That's cool.
Other after parties. Let's see. Oh, Quebec, but Quebec's
Yeah, I've
just
heard
fun.
about this. I've never been to Quebec either.
Quebec's just fun, man. It's just a fun
Yeah,
area.
exactly.
Um,
And when I tell people that, like I've not been there, they look at me like I have two heads.
so we can get into another. Well, yeah. I mean,
No, we'll do that another time.
no, I'm just saying. 2001. I go. One of my favorite trophies I ever won, Grand's trophy, was from that. I put it on my new desk at my new school that I just opened this week, and that tournament, we hanging out, whatever, having an awesome time, and then after that, Jason's with us, and after that, Jason lives there for about 2-3 years. I'm just saying, he stayed
That
in
is
in in
fantastic.
uh, Quebec area for about 2 years, so it was funny. But what's another one? I'm trying to. I think
Well, you already hit the best one.
no,
No, you
Charlie
hit the
Lee.
best one.
Charlie Lee always had a great one. That was a great one. Charlie Lee always had a good one. Charlie had a lot of cool
I
things.
think
His
I'd like
tournament's
Top
underrated too. His tournament's very underrated as well. I
Well, I
like
have
the
family in
World
Virginia
Series.
too, so I would always go. I would pop over there. See, that's another thing I was telling you. Like I have family over there too, so
DC always had a good one. Actually, I like DC now at the Gaylord because they have at the upper level they
yeah.
have that cool little area. That's pretty cool. I don't know, man.
We'll have to
They're
get in it next time. Let's get into because you just started talking about it. I really wanted to get into it, which was your favorite award. We should really get into
right. We'll
that.
do that.
So
We'll
we
do
can
that next week as well.
let's get into that next week.
After we have to battle all the comments
Good.
this
Let them
this
comment.
week on
I'm not
Facebook. It's
wrong.
gonna be fun. No,
Don't get
I
caught in
agree
your
with you.
emotion. Your emotions are exactly that. Yours.
Yeah,
You
I
get to
know.
keep
Yeah.
them all to yourself.
I mean, there's so much more to go into on that. So, but what I'm
Good. Let it
saying,
happen.
I agree with you on a lot of that, and there's flaws on every system, and I think just my biggest gripe on that is if I
It
don't
never
like
does what it says it's
something,
gonna do. Oh,
no, but if I call something out or say that, hey, I don't like this, that this didn't work, then all of a sudden, like, I'm a bad person because I'm calling out something that didn't work. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
that's just the approach that they take, and not just, I'm not saying them, but other people and supporters and stuff is, well, that's because this or that's because that. I was like, no, like it just doesn't work. It needs to be
Dude, some of
fixed.
my good friends
Right.
really love Uventex. Like
Yeah.
Obeda loves Uventex.
Yeah.
But I still tell them, I'm like, no, dude. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I
But
think it's
you
a
can
scam.
have an opinion. I can have an opinion. You know, like that's not a bad
Exactly.
thing. You know, like you don't have to hate me, or I'm not trying to take your business down because I think that this part needs to improve. That, you know, that's it. I mean, and I've had the same convo with another registration program. I said, hey, this needs to be fixed, you know, before my tournament. That'll have to wait till next year. What? No, like, sorry guys, we like, if there's an issue with something, we got to fix it. Pretty simple, right?
Yep.
Yep. Oh man. All right. So this
This
was
has
a
been
fun
another episode of
episode.
Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff.
All
I'm
right.
Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss,
It's been a
and
great time, guys. We will
it
see you
was
next week.
great.